Greetings, friends. Hello, welcome. It's the Chief Chat and it's Friday. How are you? Come on in. Good to see everybody. Let's invite our Facebook friends to the party. We're going to share this on a page I manage. It's called Kevin Rogers Copy Chief, and I'm posting as Kevin Rogers Copy Chief. How's everybody feeling today on Friday? Do me a favor, type in the comments. Let me know where you're sitting today. Where are you in this great big world of ours? I'd love to see what you're up to and hear how the weather is where you are. I'm here in St. Petersburg, Florida, where it's starting to cool down a little bit, but it's still pretty much like summer is anywhere else in the world. And I know that in some places in the world, it is snowing and there's power outages. Out in California, there are fires. So there's all kinds of crazy ass weather things going on. So tell me what's up. Where are you? And how's things? Are you safe? Is everything cool? Ottawa, chilly in Ottawa, sunny in LA, says Scott, 69 degrees. I don't know where that is. I wish it was 69 degrees here. Yeah, man. Minneapolis. Dirty 30s. No kidding, man. 46 already in Dallas. Are you serious? Wow. Riyadh. It's hot. Yeah, it sounds hot. We're in Berlin. What's going on? Rainy in Berlin. This is so cool. People from everywhere. 92 in Panama, says David Ryan. Mild near Detroit. No complaints. All good in Detroit because you know it's coming. That winter's coming, as it always does. What's up? Where's Keith? Where's KAT? Where's the big cat? What? Four inches of snow and 10 degrees. Are you kidding? Where do you live? I thought you were out in California for some reason. You're not in California. Are you in, where are you, Keith? Oh, yeah, Wyoming. Yeah. So that's just, you got nothing blocking the weather. 60 in Lexington. I have been to Lexington. Is that where you live, Patrick? Lexington, Kentucky. Man, I got some great Lexington stories. In fact, speaking of weather, me and my friend T-Shawn Shannon, who's a great comic, was a close friend of Bill Hicks and wrote for the Tonight Show for years and SNL for years. T-Shawn and I were playing comedy off Broadway in Lexington, and it snowed after the show, and we went to the supermarket and bought trash can lids. And drove to the biggest hill we could find because we wanted to sled on trash can lids, and it didn't work that well. But in the condition we were in, it was still fun. Yeah, man, country drag racing. It's exactly what that was. Well, it's great to see everybody. Thanks for being here. And if you're joining us on Facebook, welcome. I won't be able to see your comments on Facebook, but I welcome you. If you're a friend of the page, then this is the Chief Chat, where you get to see what's going on inside the community, and we're going to learn a lot of cool stuff today. If you've got a best thing, I want to shout out to the folks here on Zoom. You know what a best thing is, right? I'd love to hear some of your best things. The best thing is this, where we just simply share the best thing we learned this week. It could be from life, it could be from parenting, it could be from business, copywriting, whatever it is. You just say the best thing I learned this week, or could be recently. It doesn't have to be an exact 7-day time frame. Here's what it was. Here's where I learned it from. Here's why it struck me as personally useful. And here's an example of how I used it. And then we close our best thing in under 2 minutes with a if-then statement. So if you're looking to be better on camera and give helpful tips in a timely manner, then try practicing your best things, right? That's an if-then statement. So, and that wraps it up, puts a little bow on it. And so it's exciting. Couple things I want to cover here today. We're going to celebrate today. We just finished up RFL number 9. RFL number 9. That means the 9th session of RFL. RFL, if you don't know, stands for Real Free Life. That is my coaching program for freelance copywriters. Really, you could be a freelancer of any skill, and this program would be very effective. But because I was a copywriter and I know copywriters best, I'm able to help them accelerate their career. However, I will say a trend I'm loving is people moving away from just straight up, hey, hire me to write your copy. The people who go through RFL very commonly have broader services to offer. In fact, one of our winners is someone who could create a lead magnet for you, top to bottom, concept, copy, design, make you look like a top pro in the world, in the industry, and give people a reason to get excited about learning from you, doing business with you. And the other winner we had, it's not a contest, by the way. I'll explain what I mean by winner in a second, because everybody who goes through RFL is a winner. I can tell you that right now. Is a YouTube ads specialist for 6- and 7-figure businesses who want to explode their growth in 2020 using YouTube, because a lot of people still don't understand how to use YouTube. They don't know how to write a good script for a YouTube ad. They don't know what the video should look like. They don't understand the targeting of it and all those things. So Patrick is a Google ad expert for years, and nobody more qualified than him with that experience and his ability to write scripts that pop from the screen with personality and salesman person-ish. I don't like saying salesmanship anymore. Salesperson ship. He's great at it, and he's well positioned. So that's not just straight up copywriting, either of those things, right? So RFL is fast becoming about just owning your specialty. And so what we do in the program is it's an 8-week program, and there's 4 sort of modules, 4 stages that we go through. It starts out with visualizing. What do you want your business to look like if it was the best freelancing business you could have, and I could wave a magic wand and make it look that way, make it be that way for you? Let's first start with, if I was the genie, what would you ask me for, right? What is your perfect freelancing business? So we visualize that. We also determine our new monthly revenue goal, a bit of a stretch goal, but shocking how quickly people reach that when they finish the rest of the program. Section 2 is to specialize, where we focus on specializing our skills into an in-demand sort of money skill type of offer. Because as I always say, people ask me every day to introduce them to good copywriters. Never do they say, hey, Kev, could you introduce me to a good generalist copywriter? Just somebody who kind of writes copy pretty well. That's all I need. Never hear that. What I hear every day is, hey, Kev, can you introduce me to a good copywriter in Facebook ads, who's really good with email sales sequences, who's really good with nurture style broadcast emails, who's really good with webinar, indoctrination email series. They're very specific about it. See, money skill, bat signal. And Facebook ads they want, advertorial, pre-sale articles. Those are the kind of things they ask for. And so that's why we specialize. There's nothing more powerful you can do in your freelance business than to specialize. So we get that nailed down, and then we legitimize. We start to say, what are the credentials behind this? And now let me start to produce some authority content that's going to legitimize my specialty and make people go, wow, this person is uniquely qualified to do this for me because they have this experience and they teach about it in this special kind of way, and it's really resonating with me. So by the time you actually get on the phone with somebody who wants to hire you, they're a fan. They're not a prospect, and you're certainly not a vendor. In their eyes, you are an expert, and they're excited to meet you. And if they've ingested enough of your authority content, they might even be like a little strangely nervous to meet you. You're like a celebrity to them, and that's fun. and makes the question of how much will this cost like second or third on their list. Number one is, wow, so cool to talk to you. Number two is, I sure hope you're available for me to work with. And number three, I sure hope I can afford it, right? Total shift between that and just being a generalist who's like, anybody want a copywriter? I'm ready to work for you. Okay, good luck with that. And so then we capitalize on all those things. And we talk about high-level networking and how to get on podcasts and how to broadcast your authority and your bat signal talents to the world so that when people need a specialist like you, it's your name who gets mentioned. And those hot referral inbound leads are a real game changer. And then beyond that, it's about, okay, well, now you've immersed in your expertise. Is it time to maybe have a course of your own, start a coaching group, do some straight up consulting work? So that's sort of like, a mini view of the arc, the freelancer's journey, story arc, and how we like to conduct it there in the RFL. So what I mean by winner, everybody who goes through that training gets a ton from it and feels very empowered, very clear, very dialed in, and then they go and they flourish. However, like in any group, the groups are always super supportive and cool with each other. And man, it just really feels like family. It's always bittersweet to end an RFL session. The 8 weeks go by fast, and then it's sort of a happy, tearful goodbye. It's never goodbye, but you know what I mean? It's that journey's ending, and now it's time to go out into the world with your new abilities. I pick a winner every time, somebody who completed every task and just like really has their what we call their ultimate authority package, which is a lead magnet that exemplifies your money skill. You got your authority content. You're making good videos to explain to people what you do, and it's a tough choice, but I always like to choose one person who has all this like super dialed in, and the other X factor is their offer super dialed in, so that I can bring them on the podcast and celebrate them and just give them basically the spotlight and have them shine and have people listening going, damn, that's exactly what I need. I'm going to get that lead magnet. I'm getting on this person's list. I want to talk to this person about working together and give them money. So, and that's how it goes. So, but this time, RFL 9, man, there were so many brilliant people in there. And I'm telling you, everyone in this group was exceptional. The lead magnets that they created, the videos they were making, the creativity and energy they were putting behind it, the support they showed each other was top of the heap. And so I had no choice. I had to choose two winners this time because I literally could not pick between the top two. And, 5, 6, 7 of them would have been easily qualified to win. But there were two who were just so amazing what they created over this 8 weeks. I had to just choose them both. And so we had co-champions of RFL 9, co-winners of the Ultimate Authority Package. That's where they come on the podcast with me. I drive traffic to their lead magnet. I help them, get a little boost, a head start in list building, and celebrate them online and introduce them to anybody I can to help. I do that for everybody who goes through RFL, as far as the networking aspect goes. But, these are people that, to me, like I can hold up and say, this is what it looks like when you tick every box through this program and kick its ass. And so I want to publicly announce for the first time the two winners of the Ultimate Authority Package for RFL 9. And I think they're both here with us today. And if they're not too embarrassed by my gloating, I'd like to bring them on and just introduce them to you and say hello real quick. So first up is Rachel Kraft. Rachel is our lead magnet designer, planner, strategist. And it's been great getting to know Rachel. You've met her a couple times, I think, already. Hi on the Chief Chat. Nice to see you. I love that big smile. How are you?
Good to see you too. I'm good. How are you?
Good. And I love now, like, you're so comfortable on camera now that every time we get like a new set, we get like now you got like the chilling by the window set going. You got nice natural light. Got your coffee. It's morning, Rachel.
Yes. Well, noontime, Rachel.
Oh, noon, Rachel. Oh, you're on the East Coast? Yeah. Okay. Well, late morning, Rachel. It's the writer's lifestyle. I'm having coffee at noon.
Yes, exactly.
So, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, pretend I didn't just tell everybody. Let's hear from you what your specialty is.
Sure. So I am going to be a full service content and lead magnet production person. And I'm going to specialize especially in interactive lead magnets. I have a background as a teacher, and I think there's something really powerful about a lead magnet that gets the prospect involved and gets them to put pen to paper, print it out, keep it, hold it, and then come to the business owner. So yeah, I'm really excited to finally have figured that out, because that was the main thing that I wanted to do in RFL, was figure out my bat signal. Yeah,
right. It's a game changer, isn't it? Because we have all these things we could do. You've been freelancing for a while. You've got the client work. You've surpassed that escape velocity, and now it's like, all right, nothing but options everywhere you look around, and choosing is the hardest part. Yeah, it was wonderful. I can't say enough good things about RFL. So thank you so much. Thank you. Well, it's nothing without, like you said, that interaction, that it's a two-way street. We could shout it out and that's why the program is what it is. It's not a download it and go through the course. It's a coaching program. Always give credit to Melanie, Warren, and Angie Colt, who are my co-coaches in there. They're both amazing, and they're awesome. Man, they just bring it to another level, So, well, I'm excited to do the podcast with you. Yeah. And see you at Copy Chief Live, and tell everybody how awesome you are. And maybe even we'll make a lead magnet for Copy Chief, because that would be awesome. Because I'm totally down for that. Yeah, because I mean, that's the other thing. That's another thing I can't deny, is like, man, can I immediately see myself using this as a business owner, right? And that's how I know it's like, this thing's ready to go, because I'm coveting it right now myself. Awesome. Yeah. Great work, Rachel. We'll be seeing lots of you more, and appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye. Awesome, right? I mean, here was a woman who was a little shy on camera. She never looked shy, but she admitted that, it was uncomfortable for her at first. And she did all kinds of cool little things. Like, she set up a little audience with smiley faces on them behind the camera and things. And again, it's just that ability to take a challenge and overcome it, right? That's the X factor for all of us in business. And the second winner is Patrick Kenny. They're in Lexington. And let's say hello to Patrick. Look at my man, Patrick.
What's up, brother?
Boom, there he is. Look at him.
What's going on?
You got the mic. You got the set. Pictures of the family. You're cool, collected. You're just ready to go. You're a guy I want to be hanging around with and learning from and doing stuff with.
I'm in it to win it, brother. In it to win it.
You did win it. Congratulations.
Yeah,
man.
Thanks.
You did a lot of, dude, your lead magnet alone was pretty staggering. Like, what you created. It's almost ironic that Rachel's is lead magnet. It looked like you'd hired Rachel to do your lead magnet.
When I look at hers, I was like, oh man, yeah, she knows what she's doing. So these lead magnet skills I'm definitely going to be using her for that stuff.
Yeah,
so I think all that time, I don't have to spend sleepless nights typing my own.
Yeah, trying to get the graphic. Like, are you naturally kind of good at graphics? Like, do you enjoy that?
I do. I mean, just some of the tools that I've got, I don't know. I kind of like messing with different color stuff and the psychology of color, especially when it comes to video. So that graphic stuff kind of fits with what I do on video. So,
yeah,
I kind of like it.
I'm like, I enjoy it, but you know what I always do is I'll spend like 10 hours on something just because it gets good to me, and then you think because you put all that time in that it looks awesome. And like, you've seen what it started as, this piece of crap, and then it gets great. And then you show it to other people and they're like, no, you should hire
us. It's funny you mentioned that, because, I'm working till midnight, I was like, man, I want to nail this thing, and I'm working late on it. And I show it to my wife. She's like, yeah, okay. I'm like, all right, I'll go back and do a little bit more. And she's like, wow, that's really cool. So it's like, well, I know
Yeah,
if I get
finally,
that.
right.
Yeah.
That's the key to it. Yeah. An honest spouse, right? I'm the same way with my wife. She's my gut check on anything. If I can't get her to go, oh, I'm like, ah.
Yeah. When
But
it
after
blows
20
her
years of
mind.
marriage, yeah, I don't know if that's a fair gauge anymore. She's kind of unimpressed by most things at this point.
Well, they never say like, oh, it's terrible. It's like, why don't we do it this way? Okay.
Yeah, right. Exactly. She's been my greatest supporter all along, and it's amazing to have that. So Patrick, let's talk about now.
Yeah, man.
What going forward? How are people going to know Patrick Kenny?
You know, it's funny, before, just to play up RFL a bit, and I mentioned this to you in the message I sent back to you last night. You know, I've been in we've all been in different coaching programs, and, for this, I was always the Google guy. And I think I put the note on there where, I've got some buddies that refer work for me that do social and whatnot. And they'll be like, well, I don't really know what he does, but he's really good at Google. You just need to talk to him and he's going to help you out. So, to have that, and I always did YouTube ads, and to have that, okay, I help people grab attention, explode sales with YouTube, to have that clarity and simplicity. For me, where I'm in this stuff all the time and I'm in the complex things, to simplify that to where people actually understand what I'm talking about. That's where this is going for me. It's like, okay, This is what I do. It's very clear. And people go, okay, cool. What does that look like for me?
Right. Yeah. And when you get that clear, I always say this about authority content. It's, especially in the beginning, it's almost more valuable for you than it is for your prospects to for you finding prospects, them finding you, going, oh, great, that's the expert I need. But the more we teach about what we do, the more I call it like stage time. We work out our bits. I think of it like comedy. It's like, oh, I'm working out that bit, and I got a tagline to it now, and I can really talk about it, with authority, and people can instantly sense when you're an expert on your topic, because you spend a lot of time talking about it, thinking about it, teaching it, doing it.
Yeah, but you naturally become magnetic. And that was, for me, in RFL. I mean, to anybody thinking about doing it, I don't know what the next permutation of it looks like, but man, just do it. I mean, it was literally, and I'm not, I mean, we've been in this before. Anybody who doesn't know me, you don't know if I'm being genuine or not, but you'll find that out soon enough. But it is legitimately the best coaching that I've ever been through. And it's, I mean, and I don't say that to blow smoke. It legitimately is. And I think all the other Niners, as we call ourselves, feel that way. So thank you. It was an incredible experience.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah. Like I told Rachel, man, it's just an honor for me to be a part of it, to lead it. The co-coaches and the people who come in that gravitate towards it, man. I know now if somebody, when they join, how it's going to end up for them, and I could just sense what is the mix of personality traits, abilities, character, hard work, that are going to, man. And this thing is like, it's all stuff we were doing or possessed before, but now it has a direction, and that's really what we provide,
Oh, and here's the best analogy I could come up with, because I was thinking, like, how would I tell people what's the difference between, say, other coaching programs that are good and you'll get value from them versus RFL. And so for me, I enjoy the copy, and, I love spending time in Google. Well, most of the time, depending on their changes, but it's kind of like, so I'm a car guy, right? So it's kind of like if you have a group of people that are car guys, and you've got some Chevy and Ford guys, and you've got some Audi guys, and you've got some Japanese, but then you find like your BMW car guys, they get all the nuances of it. And like, that is your ultra tribe. That's, for me, that's what RFL was. That's my ultra tribe of people that get everything that I go through on a daily basis, with all the emotions, and, the coaches understand that. For me, that's what RFL was.
Awesome.
And still is.
It still is. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, brother. And I'm excited to work more with you, to record our podcast. I think it's already in the books, and people will be hearing it soon. And like I said to Rachel, let's talk more YouTube, because that's a hole in our game right now that we started and, didn't have the bandwidth to keep up with. So I'd love to get your eyes on that.
100%. You got it.
All right, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Good work, Patrick. We'll talk soon, man.
Thanks, brother.
How cool is that, right? And that's the thing. So that's where my passion lives, that and just the relationships, man. This is a business of relationships. I always say I could trace every dollar I've made in this business to a handshake somewhere. And that means getting out of the house once in a while and going to pick your events. You can only do so many in a year. They're all costly. Travel's costly. It's a pain in the ass. It sucks to sit on a plane. You got to walk into a situation that you hope is good and ideal and not boring and not weird and not full of deplorables. You know, people that are going to make you uncomfortable and instead feel supported. And that's why, by the way, I want to model the t-shirt for you, the Copy Chief Live, coming up in 2 weeks. I'm going to be like one of those Zappos models. Ready? Here we go. Huh? Like that. This is lower. This is the back. Yeah. It is dope, right? So check it out. I haven't really advertised this as much as other things about Copy Chief Live because it almost seems silly with how life-changing Copy Chief Live can be. But who doesn't love a free t-shirt? And so we're doing something really cool this year. Everybody who comes to Copy Chief Live is for the first time getting a Copy Chief Live t-shirt. This is actually the year one staff shirt, right? And these were so coveted. Only the staff had these. We didn't sell them. We didn't make them available in any way because that's the kind of genius marketer I am. These were so coveted. Alex, is Alex here? Alex Penning, who's one of the coolest and most generous people you'll ever meet, literally gave it off of her back to, was it Pauline Longdon? Yeah, because, you know, she's like, oh, Pauline came all the way from, Pauline and Ray, by the way, have been to all 3 Copy Chief Lives, all the way from Australia. It just blows me away, fills my heart that they make that trek every year and get so much from the event and bring so much to the event. Candace Parsons coming from Australia this year, James Schramko from Australia, some others. So cool. Finally, everybody's getting there, but check it out. Not only this design, so you could have this very t-shirt if you want. We're going to have a screen printing company on site at Copy Chief Live printing the shirt you want for you, right? So you could choose, what you get is the shirt and a one design, and then you can upgrade from there if you want to customize it however you want, right? So you could have this on the front, this on the back. You could have a pocket design on the front, something on the back. We're going to have the Copy Chief Live 3 logo you can choose from. So everybody's going to get a t-shirt. And of course, if you want more from there, you're welcome to purchase more. It ain't cheap to have them screen printed in real time, but I wanted to do it right and make it cool and allow people to customize their own shirts. So I think that's going to be really cool. And a lot of fun. So if you're coming to the event, little tip for you, try to register on Sunday. We'll have the registration in the lobby from 3 to 7. And if you can register on Sunday, then on Monday morning, you can go down first thing and order up your t-shirt, because it obviously takes them a few minutes to screen them right there in real time. And then by lunch, or certainly by the second day, it'll be ready for you. So they'll be there both days, and that'll be super cool. Free t-shirts, everybody. What else about Copy Chief Live, man? The speaker list. You should, it's incredible. Johnny Vance from Harmon Brothers. He's so excited about coming. And you saw from Johnny's training just a couple of weeks ago, what a cool guy, and so much to share. Look, Harmon Brothers is selling, making sales on the same level as like Agora Financial was last year. Were they at 400 million or whatever, 350 million in sales, however many billions of views on their videos. It's just incredible. And they've done all this over the last handful of years, 4 years, 5 years. And I'm telling you, man, like video and entertainment are the future. And I'm not saying that we all have to suddenly be funny overnight, But you got to put personality into your stuff. You got to have some personality in your marketing, and you got to know how to help your clients put personality into their marketing. So, what Patrick's doing with video, what Rachel's doing with lead magnets, what David Power does with video, bringing that personality into it. Another guy that was in RFL 9, John Robb, super funny guy, wrote television for years, really wrote TV ads, really understands sitcom script writing. To me, like, those are the kinds of people who are really going to have an edge in the coming years. That's my prediction. You want to know what I think the state of the marketing union is? It's video, and it's entertainment, and it's personality. And the standard old fear-based stuff and the dry, straightforward stuff, that'll still work in some markets where that's the audience. But I mean, just look at our culture, man. Everything is personality driven, for better or worse. Everything, personality wins the day. So embrace that and study that, and you know what's cool about it? It's fun, right? It's fun to read Caples, and you could sit with the sales letter book. What's the really long one that's hard to read? Not the Schwartz one, but I can't think of it right now. No, not the Ultimate Sales Letter. It is a little hard to read, but it's not long. Not Scientific Advertising. Damn, what's the one? The blue one, the really long one. Damn it, can't think of it. Anyway. Yes, yeah, Collier. Thank you. The letter book, Collier. You're not going to be whistling reading through that book, but reading Harmon Brothers' Poop to Gold, a great read. I zipped through this in like a day, man. It's just a fun read, and it's instructive. Pay attention to comedy, to watch more stand-up, enjoy your favorite sitcoms, or sketch humor. Like, so much great sketch is being televised now. It's just a fun time to be in marketing, right? Because people want fun, they demand to be entertained. Like, I have 2 teenagers at home. I see how they interact on their devices. It's a whole different game. Someone like Alex Penning, like, really understands that. Alex is one of those people who, she's not only a really bright and experienced marketer, but she's also kind of a nerdy millennial, even though I don't think she's quite a millennial. You are a millennial? Okay. Like, Alex, like, really, really gets how people use the internet and what they're into. And she was like, I think she's one of the few people still walking around picking up Pokeballs. Shows how much I know. There's probably still millions of people still doing that, but I thought it like lasted 2 weeks. Anyway, so that's where it's at. And that's why I'm excited to have Johnny at Copy Chief Live. If you look at the speakers at Copy Chief Live, a lot of big personalities: Laura Belgray, Todd Herman, James Schramko, Dean Jackson, and then Roy Peter Clark, America's writing coach, like the best there is on the actual craft, because this is still the written word at the end of the day. And he's such a great personality, teaches you how to write with strong voice and personality. Abby Woodcock, the queen of writing and strong voice. And man, that's why I choose the kind of speakers I do for Copy Chief Live, because like, those are the things that are going to make the difference in the coming years. So we need to combine our study and our admiration of traditional direct response sales copy methods with the world we live in today, in the world that's, like, every day more people get hired and get jobs and get money and want to buy adult things. The boomers won't be here forever, and the millennials are going to be the ones with the money, and the Xers and people who grow up with MTV and expecting to be entertained and having a new standard for entertainment. And watch yourself, how you conduct yourself on Facebook, on Instagram, and what stops your scroll, right? Like, be conscious. What stops your scroll? And then what draws you in and then gets you to, that's the cool thing is, like, long form still works, but you just have to grab attention differently than we used to. And we have to understand video and entertainment and those things to do that. So it's an exciting time to be a part of it. And that's what we're celebrating at Copy Chief Live. So if for some reason you have not gotten your ticket to Copy Chief Live and you know that you should, then please do that, because the prices go up to full retail on Monday, because now we're not really thinking about ticket sales so much. We've oversold our goal, and we are thrilled with that. And we are head down now into all the final touches to make this the greatest event we've held yet. And so please come be part of it with us if you can. I'd love to see you there. All right, let's talk. Oh, here's a funny thing. By the way, anybody got a best thing? Raise your hand if you got a best thing, if you want to come on and share. Talk about, here's the real hidden bonus of Copy Chief Live. It's a guy named Addison Rice. When you, that's the thing you'll take away from Copy Chief Live, that you if you haven't been before, you're like, wow, I never saw that coming. Addison Rice is our resident songmaster, entertainer. He was our very first ever speaker at Copy Chief Live at the first event, gave an amazing, emotional, instructive talk about, how to write dynamic email copywriting with story. And he's an amazing musician. If you don't follow the Love Sprockets, you need to do that. And Addison kind of leads up the band along with John Carlton and Angie Coley and myself at the party on Tuesday night. David Power, who's been to Copy Chief Live, has the best thing. Also an RFL Ultimate Authority Package winner, our man David Power, who's going to look perfect on video as soon as it comes on. Whoa, oh, look at this.
How's that?
Oh, dude, we got a slow fade in. Some kind of, wow.
Let me see if I can.
Look at that.
There we
go.
That
was cool.
There we go. I'm on wide as well, which wasn't intentional. Now you can see the mess in the room.
Usually we just see the red door. That's your secret.
That's the secret.
Sorry.
Yeah, you just, as long as this much of your frame looks good, everything's fine.
Dude, if I would have turned this camera, yeah, everybody'd be like, wow, what a pig.
Pretty much. That's pretty much the case. That's the secret. That's my big secret.
He's a little messy. Well, it's good to see you, friend. How are you, man?
Good to see you. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, good, man.
Yeah. So my best thing is, now hang on to your socks for this one. My best thing is that Eugene Schwartz was right.
Ooh.
Here's what I mean by that. I've been writing financial copy now for about 1.5 years for a non-Agora publication. And it's been going fine, been doing reasonably well. What I realized in my most recent promotion, which is just doing, if I can pat myself on the back a little bit, is doing really well, is that you can't make people believe things they don't already believe. And if you're trying to do that in your copy, and I'm saying this to myself, if I'm trying to do that in my copy, it's not going to work. At least not going to work to an extent that is going to make a difference in terms of conversions. So, it won't come as a surprise to almost anyone on this call that you need to tap into, and this is, in the first 3 chapters of Schwartz's book, he hammers on this a lot, is that you need to be in touch with what's happening in the world today, what average people are, what average people believe, what they're afraid of, things they love, things they hate. Go to see the movies that you can't bear to sit through.
Right.
Read the magazines you wouldn't dare be caught dead.
Or the news channel.
Public.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And be in touch with what people are thinking. Now, this doesn't mean stealing ideas from others, but it means having a good appreciation for what people believe, what they fear, and then taking those fears and beliefs and amplifying them, and taking a slightly different spin than other people are taking. That's what grabs eyeballs. That's what makes copy convert. And that's my best thing for this week. So if you are a copywriter and you're having any issues getting people to read your copy and click through to the order page and take out their credit card and give you money, go back to basics. Go back to looking for that idea that doesn't need to be absolutely earth-shattering in any big way. It needs to feed an existing belief or an existing fear that the average person believes or fears. And that's this may be the biggest and the most obvious best thing ever, but it really hit home for me in the past few weeks. So I wanted to share.
Thank you. It's a great share. I love it. And you know what, dude, it's always the fundamentals, man. And it's so easy to wander away from them as we start getting more advanced and, getting too smart for our own goods and this extreme curse of knowledge, right? We forget that the people reading aren't on our level. As far as the persuasion, they just want to react, right? Again, and that's why, Patrick made a joke like be on TikTok, but it's true. Like I couldn't bear to be on TikTok for too long, but TikTok is, what that is, David? It's like where kids make music videos, right? And my daughter loves it and does it all the time. And it's a little weird and nauseating to see young people just wanting to pose and do this, but I don't know why. This is what they do. If you just watch it,
they do the robot.
That's all it is. It's like the old guy robot. That's what the kids do these days. But what that reminded me of is that I remember reading an interview remember when Vine was a thing. What was that? 5-second videos, Vine?
Something like that.
5 or 6 tops. And they were like, man, how do you, and then we get millions of views on a Vine. And like, how do you do anything in 5 seconds? And the guy's like, he's like, I can make you laugh in 5 seconds. I can make you cry in 5 seconds. Because like it's time just, it's Parkinson's law. If you only have 5 seconds and you're every day making videos that are 5 seconds long, you can figure out how to make a huge impact. That feels like a long time for you, right?
Oh, for sure.
So man, we need to study all the different ways that people are using, man, everybody has a studio in their pocket, right? And that's, by the way, just a convenient plug for you. People should be studying your stuff to know how they could use only this and make a really badass looking video, come off like a pro. You have great tips on how to address the camera, how to frame it, how to add some simple graphics. Where can people find that kind of thing, David?
For these types of things, you could start by visiting davidpower.com.
Ting! davidpower.com, everybody. So if you want to know how to make great video, even if you're not comfortable making video and make it look pro right there on your phone, go to davidpower.com. And if you need financial copywriting, I don't know if you're available. You're pretty booked up as a financial copywriter, but that's something else people should consider because, as you said, it's where you've been immersed and it's going quite well with the work you're doing. Ta-ta. I'll patch it. That's my arm back there reaching.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Great seeing you. Thanks for the best thing. And I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks here in Florida.
Looking forward to it.
Me too, buddy. See you.
Bye for now.
Lovely guy. David Power. By the way, anything you've seen me do in video that looks professional is because of that dude right there in the last year or so. All right. I want to bring, this is funny. Now let's talk about things that don't go right, because I've been just talking about how it looks when things go like perfectly well. Here's my humbling, I guess this would be my best thing. And it's a co-best thing. When you go to name something, there's a simple instinct one might have, especially if they've been in marketing for 15 plus years. When you land on a name that you really like, you would maybe go search to see if the URL is available. You maybe would go Google it and see if it's already in use other places. That would be a natural instinct, and an instinct you should follow and listen to. Somehow, occasionally, even if you have 15 years experience, you will ignore that instinct and just start creating the thing under the name which you like. And sometimes you might even have a smart friend doing this with you, and somehow they will ignore the same instinct. And together, you will create 10 episodes of a thing with a certain name, and then one of you on a whim will search it only to find out that name with the exact same spelling already exists in a substantial enough a way to where it would be nearly impossible to try to compete with that existing entity. And then you have to completely rename the thing you want to do. And in my case, it is a new podcast that I'm very excited about. If you were here on the last Chief Chat, you know that it was called 1099, TEN numeral 9, because that is, of course, the document we use. 1099 is contracted labor. And we thought that was kind of clever and cool for a podcast name, Mike, Lucas, and I. And then Mike Googled it and started frantically sending me screenshots telling me we're screwed. We can't use this name. And I'm like, nah, dude, it's fine. It's probably nothing. Like, are they posting recently? Is it like a thing? And he's like sending me, yeah, they got like thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm like, oh shit. So Mike and I are now searching for the new name of the podcast. For me, is that hi Mike? You're very cozy. You're like really advanced. Is it
well, yeah. This is it's crazy here in Dallas. Kev. I'm gonna do my best to come live to you, but right now we're suffering a real a temperature shift. Last night it was about 82, 83 degrees, and this morning I woke up and I don't know. You tell me.
48 degrees. Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. So we're really frantically sort of battening down the hatches. It rained a little bit, and we're just trying to survive, Kev. We're just trying to keep warm, and we're trying to it's Texas, so we're just trying to we fight. I'm from Cleveland, but I'm living here now, so I have to do what they do here, the natives. And
yeah, I'm glad you're adapting. You look warm enough.
I got an electric blanket. I got a hat on. I haven't shaved for hours. And
is that bone broth you got there?
This is what we did is we have 3 cats, and we killed one of them, and we boiled the bones to make broth. It was the older one, so
that may have been premature, Mike. It's only 48.
Don't feel sad. It's the older one, and she was slow. She was keeping the pack, slow. She was slowing down the pack.
You saw her as a detriment to your survival. So, all right. Well,
oh, Miss Amelia, and so we're just doing our best here. I did a freezer check. We've got a little bit of meat left. We got some hamburger. We got a pound of beef. And we got a pork loin. So I think
all right,
dog's safe. Right.
Well, all right for now.
Right now, it is cold, man. It's cold.
I thought originally the bit was you were trying to one up Rachel for being afternoon coffee, Rachel, with your extra cozy blanket and some.
She looked good. Congratulations to her and to was it Robert?
Patrick.
Yeah, that's
Patrick
great.
Kenny.
Or Patrick, yeah, Patrick Kenny. Wow.
The guy's so good you had.
I call him Robert. It's my nickname.
Yeah, I know you guys are close that way.
Well, one of the guys I knew that was the most successful in my world was named Robert. So anyone who I see in the public who's successful, I call them Robert, and it just it's a compliment, really.
Right.
It's not
only you understand. Bobby, I just call him Bobby.
Dude, what we dropped the ball.
We goofed that up. So we've got a thread going where we're asking people to help us now name this podcast.
Desperate, a desperate thread.
And
but of course the Copy Chief people stepped up. I mean, we've got just to name some names: Tim Wu, Brett Randall, Joshua Lee Henry, Darren Hanser, Tanya Pisler, Jess Torrance, Finn Lobzine, Zach Hansen, Ross O'Loughlin, John Sloan. I'm dropping names like the temperatures in Dallas.
By the way, David Power, the comment of the chat so far: less whiskers, more broth.
To shave.
I don't know, man. Like, it's tricky when you want to name something because you think of things like are we going to enjoy saying this name a year from now, right? Like, will people adopt it? Does it roll off the tongue? Does it have the right amount of syllables? All those things. But then you also don't want it to feel like manufactured. Like you put that much thought into it. Like it became its thing, you know?
Like it can't be too clever.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
and you're the host, so you have to keep saying it over and over again. So I see why that's a concern of yours. I have to basically just stare at the marketing. So, but you have to repeat the name over and over again.
Yeah. So, and,
but did you see some of the?
I did. There's some really cool. There's some really cool ones in there.
There's some great ones.
One Kev, two mics. What was it? One Kev.
Yeah, I mean, technically it would be 3 mics because you have a mic and I have a mic and I'm a mic and you're the Kev.
Oh,
so,
gotcha.
But still, though, it's a great one Kev, 3 mics is a great name. Yeah. I like 2 freelancers and then he put this is Brett Randall says insert funny word. So like 2 freelancers and a beard. Or
actually, I like insert funny word. I mean, it's long, but if you just left that there,
just keep with the underlines in it.
We should just call the show "Insert Funny Word." That should be the name of the show. There'd be no indication it's for freelancers or how to build a freelancing career, but
and that's the struggle with naming something is you want to have the name include something that says this is what this is about, but you also want to have it sort of like not direct hit. You know, you want it to be a sort of on the side. Right. Like I was mentioning that Dean Jackson's podcast, More Cheese, Less Whiskers. It's regarding a phrase that people use in marketing. So it's a cool side
that he created. Yeah, it's like something he made famous. But again,
that was his thing already.
It was, but you know, it dares to be inside though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you don't even know if you look at that. You don't say marketing. You don't say golf. You don't say housing. You don't say anything. You just say what is this? And
that's what I liked about 1099 because it was inside enough to where you only a contractor would know that, you know.
Although one person said that like in terms of a worldwide audience,
it was limited to the US.
And then that was the same. I think I don't know who that was. Man, I don't want to drop the wrong name. I thought maybe Brett Randall, but they said whoever it was from Ireland, and they said, hey, listen, UB40 is what we use in our thing. So use that. Don't bother looking it up. That would be a great name for
Russ Reynolds. Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah. And I thought that was so funny because why not? We did
right. We didn't look up the other one.
Such a basic thing, and that's something that we talk about on our podcast. It's things like that, like mistakes you can make, and moves that you go too quickly on, where you can really save a lot of time, energy, and hassle. Like we could have prevented an entire contest by just Googling the name.
Just doing some research. A simple 6-second Google search. Yeah.
But there's so many good suggestions like G-Lansing. I like that. Finn Lobsing had some funny ones because he ended up by saying, am I doing this right? Because like his whole thing was G-Lansing, the best freelancing advice on lit hip hop beats. Key-Lansing, open the lock to money. Freelancing, you can do it for exposure. It doesn't cost nothing. He's like, am I doing this right? Funny.
Yeah, man. So we'll just ask everybody to keep contributing. You know, I think sometimes it's a process of, it's not like, oh my God, that's it, comes out of nowhere. It starts with that. And then and then you got to say it for a couple of days and it starts to feel good.
It kind of sounds like you're saying that no one won.
Oh, and there's not a winner yet. No, I'm not seeing one.
I haven't. Well, you know what I like though? Ross O'Loughlin, he's one of our heroes. But Ross, he says, I feel like the word show needs to be in there. You know, so I think he might be right because you and I, you know, we spent years doing shows. And so this podcast is, I mean, that's what the kids do. Us old guys do the show.
We do the show. That's right.
You know,
showtime.
And in the end, I think, you know, when the smoke clears and we release the book Real Free Life, and you begin just continue to teach the Real Free Life course, and just produce baby graduates all over the world that just become superstars in the copywriting and other worlds, then I think that we're going to begin to say it might be the Real Free Life podcast that we the Real Free Life show.
Well, that's the thing is like, that's what's funny is that's what we call it. It's like, oh, it's the RFL podcast, The Real Free Life. And
that's what we call it on the inside. We're just like,
yeah, it's like, why don't you just use that? And it does kind of, I could take a lesson from my previous podcast. First of all, like John and I joked that we did the worst job ever marketing a podcast with Psych Insights. Because our URL is pi4mm.com, which is just impossible to remember or
just a bunch of computer nerds just randomly typing letters and monkeys.
Yeah,
hey, we got it. There's a podcast.
Yeah,
that's no disrespect to monkeys.
No, but yeah, but Truth About Marketing was a cool name, but it was. To me, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing about, because for the longest time, the winning headline for banner ads that you couldn't beat was the truth about abs or the truth about anything, and I was like, it's kind of an inside joke about that. Right. And then that faded, and then it almost felt like, that's a show from, you know what I mean? Like, but then I really wanted to be able to just market Copy Chief, so I chose Copy Chief Radio as the standalone podcast because I had to. And so that's what I'm thinking is like, are we just going to end up going, why didn't we call it Real Free Life? Because that's where we want it. People.
Yeah. And that's what we're really, I mean, truly that we're pitching freelancer independence. We're a free life for freelancers, anyone who wants to make a living doing their thing.
Yeah. Like
from this point forward, not like from where they wish they were or where they used to be or where they want to be. It's from like right now, what's your deal? Do you have a wife, a kid, a husband? Do you have, are you birthing a turtle? What's going on in your personal world? We can make it happen from that point forward. And I think that, but you have to consider that, because what if that's your authority? What if you're a turtle birther?
That's right. And then so where do you begin? Like,
I saw your smirk. Market? Don't judge. Don't smirk.
And then, well, at least you get the paper straw trend. That's helpful. But yeah, I would say this, like
in a plastic cup with a paper straw.
The word independent or independence is key. Like, I think that's definitely something we could build around. But anyway, all this to say two things. One, Google it. Google it before you begin investing.
Job one.
And two,
so
please
easy.
help us. If you have more ideas, the thread is Inside Copy Chief. We'd love to hear your ideas to name our upcoming podcast.
Something that's better than Real Free Life show or Real Free Life podcast. It has to. That's
kind of where we're at now. If you forced us tomorrow, we'd probably just call it.
But I gotta say, there's some pretty good ones, man. Lancelot.
Lance much? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, there's some. Yeah. Well,
that could be a surgeon's podcast about releasing.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
What is the skin doctor called? Yeah. That's disgusting. All right. No,
we'll keep searching, but like after Copy Chief Live, because we're really building a lot of emphasis towards that. We're excited about that, and I can't wait to be there and say hi to everybody and give 3 to 4 of you a hug. But
hopefully shaven. Nobody wants a gray whisker hug.
Right. Look at this. This is like someone stole my wine hug.
It is.
Hey, who stole my wine? Where's my wine?
You at least got to bring it into like a 5 on the shade level. I
borrow
my beard mascara.
I don't have access to mascara, so what I do is I just let it grow naturally.
Get off my lawn, beard. Yeah.
Get off my lawn. Look at you,
old Clint Eastwood beard. Right. We just started growling.
And you look at him and you're just like, God, I thought he was doing better. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just so weak.
He's not well.
It's sad. But yeah, I'll have a pack of razors at the Copy Chief Live. That's my promise. That's how we're gonna go down there. And but it'll be in Florida, so it'll be warm. I won't have to battle up against. I mean, this is boiled beans. This is just warmth and protein. That's what I'm doing here now. I'm surviving. So you can't judge me for this.
Lindsay now has the funniest comment of the whole Chief Chat. Off of the Clint Eastwood thing, she said, "That's my underpass." Combining.
Get out of there. If you're not buying sunflower seeds, then move on. It's my underpass. It's 48. We're surviving here. You don't get it.
Of course,
hey, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, sometimes, yeah, I got a black scratcher. This was a birthday present for my kids.
I don't know where that normally goes, where you can't reach, but I probably wouldn't put it on
By
your
my
face.
desk, dude. This is, you have to
All right.
understand.
Mike
There are
Lucas,
levels of
everybody,
priority.
help us name our Wayward podcast. And I swear to you, it's going to be worth the effort, because then we can release it. And we've got 10 badass episodes waiting to go.
Yeah, it's pointed.
All our producer has to do is
it's
replace the name for when I say, hey, everybody, welcome to the 1099 to hear you go, We're Going For Your Life podcast.
It's going to be like that dub.
Yeah, just a bad dub.
All right. Well, that's okay, though. But I think and then people now will get the joke. They'll get that's
yeah, exactly.
All right.
Remember those first 10 episodes when they didn't have a name? It was great.
Man, it just really teaches you to Google stuff before you make a really serious commitment. It really does.
Those guys are really learned a lot from teaching.
Yeah. What are those guys doing now? That one guy's protecting a bridge. I know that. The guy with the blanket. And he's the beard looks exactly the same though. He hasn't shaved for years.
It hasn't grown any longer.
Exactly his grizzle.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Please keep the names coming. And we'll see you on the next one.
Absolutely, man.
Okay, trim that up, Mike.
We appreciate
Bye,
it.
everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great weekend. See you at Copy Chief Live. Bye.